Hello friends, welcome to Electronic Circuit Hub. So today we are going to understand about the flyback converter reset technique. In the last class we talked about the reset technique, flyback reset using Zener clamp, and in this video I'm going to talk about the flyback reset using RCD clamp. Okay, and this reference of the calculation I took from the book from Sanjay Maniktala. So let us understand first. If you look at, this is my input voltage V in, and then we have V in here, and then the primary inductance L primary, and along with the primary inductance in the series you have the leakage inductance, which I call it as a LLK, leakage inductance. Okay, the current flowing through in the primary winding is I primary. Then you have the MOSFET as a switch. Current flowing through the switch is ISW. Okay, and then this is the clamp loop. So in the clamp loop I have simple RCD circuit. This the diode first, and then we have R and C. So current flowing through the resistor is going to be IR, and the current flowing through the capacitor is going to I cap, and we want to clamp the voltage. Let's say the voltage across the capacitor is V cap, and that is going to be our clamping voltage. The we want to have some clamping voltage. We want to get some clamping voltage to safeguard our MOSFET. Okay, during the turn off time. This is nothing but the energy stored. What happens during the on time? During the on time, your primary inductance charges up to the peak current I peak value, and at the same time there will be energy stored in the leakage inductance. Okay, leakage inductance of your primary transformer. So I have drawn the primary inductance L primary, and then we have the LLK, the leakage inductance. During the off period, the energy stored in the primary winding is coupled to the secondary winding. Okay, due to the transformer winding and dot convention, energy stored and primary winding is going to couple in the secondary winding. But energy stored in the leakage inductance, there is a no freewheeling path if you don't have this branch, diode, capacitor and resistor branch. And because of that your switch drain voltage at this node is going to be rise. Okay, so voltage at this node is going to be, let's say if you call it VSW, so it is going to be your input voltage plus your reflected voltage VOR plus the VLDI by dt, the rate of change of your leakage current. Okay, so LLK di by dt. So what I can write it here, VLLK divided by di by dt. So what happens now, since there is a voltage rise across the switch, this can damage the switch, and what we want here is we want to clamp that leakage energy through this capacitor and fed back to the input. Okay, it's kind of regenerative effect. We are using this leakage energy and we are feeding this again to the input side. Okay, so how this diode conducts, very important to understand how this diode conducts. So what happens is during on time the voltage at this node, diode anode, because your capacitor, you have here R and C, capacitor and resistor, and at this point you have the MOSFET, and once the MOSFET turns on, so it pulls the drain. This terminal is going to be virtually ground. Okay, it looks like a virtually ground, and your capacitor will have the clamp voltage. It is discharging via R, but it will have some clamp voltage which is going to be higher than your voltage at anode of your diode. So your V during the on time your VK, voltage at cathode of your diode, is greater than voltage at anode, and that's why your diode is going to be turned off. And during the turn off time, your V, since because of L, V equals to that LLK di by dt, your voltage as drain is going to be rise, and which is going to be higher than your clamp voltage here, and then your diode activates and all the leakage energy passes through this capacitor. Your capacitor dam this leakage energy. Okay, so the voltage at this point is V in plus VR, and if you find, try to calculate the leakage voltage, what is going to be your leakage voltage, that is going to be the clamp voltage. Your clamp voltage is always greater than your the reflected voltage. You should have your clamp voltage which is always greater than your reflected voltage, right? You always greater than your reflected voltage. So your leakage is going to be V clamp minus V reflected. So we are going to understand now how you're gonna calculate the value of R and C by using this expression and some theoretical analysis. What is going to be your reflected voltage? Your reflected voltage is nothing but N into the number of turns into V naught is going to give you the reflected voltage. And what is the number of turns? The number of turns is going to be NP divided by NS. So if you want to write the expression for reflected voltage, how it is going to be? VRO, let's say the reflected voltage at the primary side is going to be the NP divide by ns multiply by v naught. This will give you the reflected voltage during off time. So let us quickly understand how you are going to do this kind of analysis. Okay, so this is your primary current which rises during the turn on of the switch, and it rises to the peak value, and then it will discharge to the zero, and it will take some time. Okay, this is switch current. It rises to the peak value, and when your switch is off, your switch current immediately falls to zero. And what happens is, now this is going to be your clamp current which you would want to clamp for delta t times, and it is going to looks like this. So if you apply the KVL on this loop, if you apply the KVL on entire V in, the V primary, and the V leakage plus VDS, how it looks like: V in minus V reflected voltage minus V leakage voltage minus V clamp voltage is going to be zero. And with this help of this, you can calculate VLLK, which is V reflected plus V clamp minus V in. And what is going to be drain to source voltage? Okay, after the clamp diode activates, so your drain to source voltage is going to be V in plus V clamp, and voltage at A node. Where is my A node? A node is at this point. You have to go reverse and watch where is your A node. So V in plus VR, and if you want to calculate V leakage, so VDS minus VA is going to be your V leakage, and the leakage voltage across your leakage inductance is going to be your clamp voltage minus reflected voltage. So this is what you have to remember. What is your leakage voltage? Your leakage voltage is nothing but how much voltage you want to clamp and minus reflected voltage. And as I said, V clamp is always greater than V reflected. Okay, so now what next? So what is the voltage across your leakage inductance? VLK, if it is given by VLK, so V equals to L di by dt, LLK into di by dt, right? LLK into di by dt. And what we found, that VLK is nothing but the V clamp voltage minus V reflected voltage, and LLK into I peak divided by dt. Okay, and by doing this you can calculate the delta t value. So delta t is nothing but LLK into I peak divided by the clamp voltage V clamp minus VOR. Now if you want to calculate the energy to be dissipated across the clamp capacitor, so energy equals to, what is energy? Power into time. So for half time, average current for half time, the current is going to be I peak divided by 2 into V clamp, that is the power. V into I is the power for delta t time. With the help of this, you can calculate the energy. Energy is equals to I peak into V clamp divided by 2, and the delta T I am replacing the value here, LLK into I peak divided by V clamp into VOR. Now if you further calculate the value of V, that is going to be half LLK into I peak square. If you solve this entire expression, multiply by V clamp divided by V clamp minus VOR. Okay, so we got now energy. So what is your clamp energy? P clamp. What is the power? Power is nothing but energy divided by time. Energy divided by time. So what I have written here, energy divided by frequency is going to be your power, clamping power. So P clamping power energy we calculated in the last expression, right? What energy we are getting? We are getting this, and half LLK into I peak square into FSW into V clamp divided by V clamp minus V reflected. Now what is your V clamp? V clamp is going to be your capacitor voltage. How much voltage you want to clamp, that is going to be as same as the voltage across capacitor. Now if you calculate the P clamp, power clamp, okay, so we got it here, P clamp, one expression we got it, right? P clamp, so V capacitor divided by the resistance, right? So P equals to V square divided by, for resistance, if you want to calculate the power to be clamp by resistor, so V square divided by the voltage across resistor divided by the resistance value gives the power. So R equals to V cap square divided by P clamp. Okay, P clamp. Now P clamp you got it here. We already calculated the P clamp here. This is your P clamp. So if you want to find the value of R, which is going to be V cap square into half LLK into I peak square into FSW, same thing I am writing here, V cap divided by V cap minus VOR. Then the value of R is going to be 2 into V cap minus VOR divided by LLK into I peak square into FSW. If you replace all the things, you're gonna get what is going to be my resistance value. Okay, you know the clamping voltage. I talked about how you are going to understand what is going to be my clamping voltage. Okay, so let me explain. I will explain how you are going to find out the V clamping voltage later maybe. So R value you got. Now you have to find out the value of C. So C, the current flowing through the clamping capacitor is C dV by dt. So C into dV into dt is nothing but the switching frequency, and the R is going to be I equals to V cap divided by R. Okay, so if you equate this C dV into FSW divided by V cap by R, you will get the C value. C value is nothing but V cap divided by R into delta V into FSW. This gives the capacitor value. Okay, R, you have, you know, you calculated the value of R in the last step. You know the delta V cap, clamping voltage, delta V and FSW, and the voltage ripple delta V you can consider 5 to 10%, 5 to 10% of your clamping voltage, 5 to 10% of your clamping voltage. The C value, C has to be greater than 10 times of R divided by FSW, or RC constant has to be greater than 10 divided by FSW. Let's say if your frequency is 100 kilohertz, and then your RC time constant has to be greater than 10 to the power minus 4. Let us say now how you are going to understand what is my V clamp or V cap. V clamp, or how much is my V cap, how you gonna fix that? So what they are saying that the voltage across the drain is going to be, VDS is going to be your input voltage plus your reflected voltage plus your the clamp voltage, V clamp voltage. Okay, ideally, V clamp voltage. Now what happens is you know what is my maximum switcher VDS. Let's say you selected the MOSFET rating for MOSFET VDS is 725 volt. Let us say you have used a power integration switch, PI switch, LNK switch, and wherein you will see that the drain to source maximum voltage is 75 volt, and you want some margin, right? You don't want to operate your switch at 725 volt. You want to have some at least 80% of headroom. So your final VDS is going to be, you can multiply by 0.8. Okay, so this will gives 8 4 5 is a 40, and this 8 to the 16 4 20, and 8 7 is a 56 and 58. 580 volt. Okay, 580 volt. Now your VDS, maximum VDS you want to set 580 volt, right? 580 volt. So what happens is your V in, V in is 325 volt. Let's say for VDS, for VAC 230 volt. I'm giving one number. You can, based on your application, you can choose VRMS. Okay, then the reflected voltage is, let's say reflected voltage is, in your case you are using the 12 volt design or 15 volt design, and reflected voltage is, let's say 60 volt. Okay, and your VDS, you want to select your VDS is 580. Okay, 580, and then this is V clamp, CLAMP, V clamp, and you can calculate the value of V clamp. What is going to be my V clamp? V clamp, now this time we come 580 minus 3 405. No, not 405, it's a 385, right? 385. Okay, so your V clamp is going to be 5, and how much I can say, 5 and 385, 3 to 580, it is going to be 195 volt. Now you can use 195 volt as a clamping voltage, which is very far away your reflected voltage. How you're gonna calculate the reflected voltage? Your reflected voltage, we write it as a VRO, is given by N into V naught, right? So it is going to be N into the primary number of turns. The primary N is nothing but, what is your N? N is number of turns, turns ratio, turns ratio. So it is going to be, your VRO is going to be your NP divided by NS multiply by V naught, plus you can also consider the voltage of output diode. Okay, this is drop, output voltage, output diode voltage drop, right? Output diode voltage drop. Okay, so guys, hope you understood how you're gonna design the RCD snubber, how RCD snubber works, and why do you want to reset the leakage energy. Okay, otherwise what is going to happen, and what is the pros and cons, why we used RCD snubber, right? If you have the wide input voltage range, then it is recommended to use the RCD snubber. If you have the wide input voltage range, if you have the fixed voltage, then you can use you can use the Zener based clamp technique.